Hi class, we are now looking at figure 15-6 in your Ruddiman textbook, and I really like this figure because we're looking at a few different types of climate proxies here that are telling the same story, and that's really a major goal in paleoclimate research, to be able to cross-reference some of these details to infer what past climate, so temperature and precipitation conditions, were like on Earth. Now, on the far left in this graph, we see data from the Greenland ice sheet. And this figure is showing millennial scale climate oscillations. So remember, these are these really quick, compared to geologic time, so tens to thousands of years, swings in climate. And these swings tend to occur during glacial intervals. And so what this graph is showing is, on the y-axis, we're looking at the past 80,000 years. So 0, once again, is present time. And we're looking at ice core data. And so here we're looking at the oxygen isotopes in the ice cores. And so when you see higher isotope fractionation, so less negative, that corresponds to warmer temperatures. Whereas where you see the more negative fractionation values or isotope ratios, we're looking at colder climate conditions. Now, if you move over to the right, we're now looking at a sediment core from Northern Europe, and we're looking at the carbon percentages in this core. And since there's carbon present, that means we can date the depth of the sediment core using carbon-14. So looking here then at the bottom, where you see this higher abundance of organic carbon, then you know that that corresponds to warmer conditions, which matches up very well with what the Greenland ice core is showing you. And then to the right of that graph, we're looking at European pollen. And when you see more tree pollen, that corresponds to warmer conditions. When you see more herb pollen, that corresponds to colder conditions. So once again, down at the bottom, we have more trees present, so that's indicative of warmer conditions. And then as you move up here, you see that there are more herbs present, so that is showing cooler conditions, which corresponds to clay, that's our soil that's poor in clay and carbon. And it also corresponds here with, if you work your way across, colder conditions as represented by the isotope ratios in the ice core. And so it really helps to look at these graphs to try to find like one interval to try to compare across. So you see a decrease here towards more herbs, cooling, 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 and cooler isotope data. And then as you see, as you get closer to present day, we have the ice core represents isotope ratios that show warmer conditions. We have soils that are much richer in carbon, and we have vegetation that is mostly trees.